Hey everybody, welcome. I'm hoping tonight that we keep it fairly light. We'll get into some information, but we want to make sure you understand a little bit about our bodies and our immune systems. When we look at our bodies and we look at sickness and disease and problems, if we start looking from the outside in, meaning, oh, there's just something wrong with me, my body will never be healthy, it can't do this, it won't do that, it's not true. Your bodies were built to be 100% effective and efficient and healthy. God built into your body an innate intelligence, more of a master controller. And that master controller lives through your nervous system, ultimately, is the easiest way that it communicates. But there's a lot of things that bring it down. I would say tune it down. It's kind of like, think of it as a light bulb. You were built with this 100-watt bulb. And unfortunately, even prior to our birth, could already have dimmed it. Unfortunately, it's just the truth. But our bodies were built to be healthy, to thrive for healing and help. But there are so many things that start to get in our way. And so tonight, what I want to make sure is that we just reconnect with what are those things that really bring us down. Your body is constantly under effects of bacteria and viruses. They live in us. Our gut is full of bacteria, but they help us. If we don't treat it right, then they start to hurt us, the bacteria that grow. So ubiquitous means that they're everywhere, and they're constantly there. So if viruses and bacteria are always there, why aren't we just all sick and dead? Because we have this immune system. And our immune system can defend and correct imbalances in our body when we become overwhelmed by these things. But they're always there. They're always being kept in check, right? And so we're going to go into why does it look for this person they're not in check, and this person looks like they're in check? And was it exposure, or what did they, were they exposed to lots? No, their bodies probably just were weakened. And so we're going to get into a lot of that stuff. So remember, your body's intelligent, number one. Number two, we want you to make sure you understand some flu basics. We're going to talk a little bit about the viruses, the immune system, the science behind that we at least understand. We don't understand everything. If we did, things would be different. Learn ways to prevent, yourself from getting to that point of sickness. We want to hopefully make sure we get some of that. And you're going to create a flu prevention plan. Flu season, it would be stated that it starts about October. Usually as things get a little colder, we move indoors more, we circulate nasty air. That just means that you have more chance of some exposure. But usually it's not just a season. It's because there are a lot of things that build up, and we're going to talk about it, that I think kind of perpetuate these, what we call the season, to happen. It's probably because we're all weakening our immune systems starting in the fall. Okay, but when we build up a resistance before the flu season hits, this is our best chance. How do we build up a resistance? Well, we build a strong immune system. That's going to be what we're talking about. The flu, when we have this virus, when the virus becomes evident in our body that our body has not been able to keep it in check, then we have symptoms. We usually have fever, our body has aches, you can get very fatigued. Why? Well, your body is fighting. It's a symptom that your immune system is fighting back. So if those viruses have replicated more than the body kind of was tricked, they kind of came in like a stealth, and the body was just sort of not paying attention, it wasn't working well, and those viruses took over our cells and replicated kind of like a Trojan horse, and all of a sudden, whoa, the body goes, what the heck's going on? These guys shouldn't be here. And so the body responds back very strongly and very quickly, and you probably go, oh no, body, not now. I don't have time for this. How can this be when I'm sick? No, I'm just going to fight through it. I'm going to take some drugs and ignore the symptoms. I'm going to do what I need to do to get rid of the aches. I mean, I can't tell you how many people really believe that the Tylenol that they'll take when they have a fever is healing them. It's not. If anything, it's the opposite. It's actually slowing down the body from fighting things off. But the body, if you don't listen to it, it will speak louder and stronger. But I want you to know that everything is connected and everything is energy. And that energy that runs your body is also connected to everything around us. And toxins and stress don't come just from within us, but they come from outside of us too. And that's really what weakens our immune system. So the stronger the immune system is, the shorter the episode. If you are getting sick, usually if your immune system's strong enough, you may not even ever get sick. You might never feel sick, but you could have been exposed. I mean, think back in the COVID days when they talk about people who had immunity, but I never felt anything. Do you have to feel something to be sick? No, you're always being exposed. But how much your body is responding, how quickly, that's your immune system efficiency. So your immune system is a whole team of tissues, cells, and organs, okay? It's a whole combination. They fight off invaders, viruses, bacteria. That's what your immune system was built to do. You have tissues developed for that, cells, and definitely specific organs. This includes your white blood cells that were measured when you do blood work, your lymphatic system, that's your sewer system. If you ever have the lymph nodes swell up, that's your body doing what it's supposed to, it's trying to contain in one spot these viruses or invaders and trying to kill them. If your lymphatic system is stuck, congested, not flowing, like a sewer system that gets backed up. What happens in your basement? It doesn't smell good, and your body is not happy about it. So in our office, if you have a program where you're doing some of our vibration platform, that's helping your sewer system flushing. It's flushing your sewer system. And the more congested that gets, the more backs up toxins. So remember that lymphatic system. The gut microbiome, what is that? That means in your gut that those bacteria that are in there are specifically trying to help you absorb the right nutrients, protect against invaders. There's a gut-brain connection, but 70% of your immune system is in your gut. So if your gut is imbalanced, unhealthy, and dysfunctional, and so probably is your immune system. And your nervous system and your immune system they come together in your gut, okay? So if we're trying to help build our defenses, that means taking care of our gut. We'll get into ways to do that, I promise. What will make us susceptible? Because I don't think that just because there is a virus or bacteria, like I said, they're ubiquitous, they're everywhere, means you're sick. Your susceptibility increases or decreases to show symptoms or to be more exposed based on a number of things. And there's multiple slides, okay? Chronic stress, high cortisol levels, which are the stress hormone, lower resistance, meaning that your white blood cell count goes low. That's some of your cells to fight these things off. Poor sleep. If your sleep schedule is off, you're off. You need to detoxify, rejuvenate, and heal during a good solid at least 6 hours, hopefully 5 uninterrupted, which honestly is hard. I don't know many people that sleep 5 hours uninterrupted. That's hard to do, but 8 hours total. Your sleep is very important, and your immune system relies on that rejuvenation and resetting. If you're not getting it, you're just going to be more susceptible. Sugar. What happens in the very end of October, this holiday? We have Halloween. That's our first really big bump of let's just kill our immune systems. But sugar, it temporarily paralyzes the neutrophils, the white blood cells. So your chances of being exposed are huge. But to go back to it, our society, we start to decrease our sun exposure in October. We're starting to kind of get indoors a little bit more. Our routines of being outside and enjoying the nature are decreasing. We're more stuck with more people in more confined places. Our air is, in most places, pretty nasty. And so we start to build up the potential of getting more sick. That's why it becomes a season. But that's because I believe the way we've started this rush of sugar, and then when the sugar rush is almost done, we have Thanksgiving and make sure we do it again. And then, right when that's done, people were baking cookies and doing all kinds of things for a whole darn month. So by January and February, you're just done. If the only thing we worried about was sugar, you're done. So we have to make sure that you're understanding what it is that can affect you and what are some of the other things you need to do to counterbalance these things. There's also a saying just to remember that stress itself is very important. So if you stress so much that you're eating the wrong things, and that stress is almost overwhelming you, that might be just as bad as might as well just had the piece of chocolate cake. Okay, so there's balance. So a lot about sugar. Hopefully I've made a point. Okay, vitamin deficiencies. Okay, in my opinion, we did a workshop on a couple months ago. If you wanted to find out how connected our soil depletion is to chronic disease, you go back to that workshop and look at the chart that Aaron showed us. Aaron is a nutritionist, a chemist, and he developed a product that we use here, and I basically tell everyone to just get it. Think Zinc is a whole food liquid supplement taken from very good sources, verified. And you get zinc, magnesium, vitamins A and C, and you also get a little anti-inflammatory benefit called blackcurrant seed oil. All these things help more than your immune system, but if you're at all like, hey, I need a little boost, I might be deficient, let's just put it this way, 90% of people are deficient in at least magnesium. Our soil is so depleted that it takes about 8 oranges now to equal 1 orange in 1950. So if you don't think you have some vitamin deficiencies, you're doing really good, or you're probably just crazy. So at the minimum, taking something like this regularly for you and the whole family, Think Zinc is the way to go. You could definitely eat better, and we're going to talk about that, but you got to fill some gaps. Even if you're eating, there's gaps. So Think Zinc is what I recommend to almost everybody. Your lifestyle, if you don't move, you become more sick. Your lymphatic system becomes more congested. The fluid that carries immune cells through the body is slowed down, and it's very connected that sedentary lifestyle increases chronic disease. And yes, it affects your immune system. Your nervous system, the master controller, your innate intelligence, your body's God-given ability to heal, must be able to communicate. And if that light bulb is down to 30%, that's because there's pressure and irritation and stress on your nervous system, and that nervous system communicates directly with the immune system. So when you're subluxated, when your body's out of alignment, when your body is tense and stressed and tight, your body is communicating at a lower level. It's only getting half the messages, or a third of the messages. So if you're saying, hey, I want to make sure I get over these things quick, get adjusted. If you're sick, get adjusted more. When you let your body do what it's built to do, by removing interference on the nervous system, it has amazing things. It's a big thing that you could control by just getting here regularly. And making sure that if you need more, you get an extra. Inflammation is something you probably hear me talk about every other table. Inflammation is rampant. Our digestive systems are destroyed, our stress is high, and there are more toxins and chemicals in our environment than ever before. And so our bodies are inflamed because they're irritated and trying to handle all the destruction that's going on. If your gut is inflamed due to the toxic foods that are in our environment, the non-whole food that we're exposed to, due to many other factors, stress is one of them, then you probably have 70% or 80% of your immune system being irritated, which means that it's in inflammation. And so that passes right to the bloodstream. And that already weakens. Our immune system's already under some confusion. So how do we naturally decrease the likelihood of getting sick? Well, we've been talking about it. I've probably been ranting about it already. Let's strengthen that immune system. Whole foods. Your body, when it has enough fiber, can do so many things better. Fiber is so deficient in most of our diets that these companies that I use for professional products are trying to sell all kinds of fancy fiber that we can get from fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables. If you're not getting your 9 servings a day, at least please start eating those things because they have the vitamins and the fiber and the prebiotics to help your probiotics in your gut start to grow. Stay hydrated. If you wait till you're thirsty, you've probably been dehydrated for a little while. Just like waiting to see me until you're really hurting. You've had subluxations for probably a decade, all right? Hydration. Simple gauge I would tell most people is half your body weight in ounces of water. Could you be drinking better water? Yes. Should it be clean? Yes. Move your body. Gentle exercises flushes your lymphatic system. If you have immune cells that need to get places, the only way they're going to get there is through the blood. And if you're not moving your blood around, they're kind of stagnantly sitting there, not getting to all the places they need to. So move. Good sleep habits. Get to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time. Your nervous system ultimately is what's so sensitive. Do you know that it only takes the weight of a dime to shut off up to 60% of the life force or nerve flow from your brain out to different parts of your body? If that's all it takes to disrupt your nervous system, think how sensitive that nervous system is. If we don't start to take care of that more often, then we're going to be asking for more susceptibility. That's why we have you get checked. Use your supplements. Like I said, think zinc. Huge. We put this together. We love this thing. The natural flu shot. Natural flu shot takes a couple things into account. The lemons, that's your probably vitamin C. Garlic is like an antibiotic, antifungal, antibacterial, antiviral, wonderful thing. Ginger, anti-inflammatory. It does have other antibacterial effects. Honey, but honey has some really good benefits. Plus, it will numb out some of the flavor for you. All right, honey and maple syrup definitely are not going to affect your blood sugar the same way that high fructose corn syrup and processed sugars will. So if we're looking for those sweeteners, pineapple juice, a wonderful cleanser. Wonderful cleanser. And the cayenne pepper, again, it's going to kind of multiply your immune system effects. Put this all together, blend it, shake it up. You can store it in a glass jar in the fridge. I would take 1 cup 4 times a day until your symptoms are resolved. I would hit it hard. Make this little natural flu shot and keep it around. Avoid, those sugar binges. Sugar suppresses the immune system. Be mindful. Alcohol, ultra-processed foods, it's going to be inflammatory. Sanitizing is very important and just keeping our bodies cleansed. But, it doesn't have to be overdone, but knowing that you are going to expose yourself to more things if you're not practicing basic sanitary habits. So why not wash your hands? Try to keep those things clean, but don't be afraid. It's everywhere. If you want to limit your exposure, well, wash your hands. Protect your energy. Like I said, set boundaries for certain commitments, take time to rest. We just don't do that enough. The flu prevention plan. How many hours, ask yourself right now, just think about it. How many hours of sleep did you get last night? Like I said, if it wasn't at least 6 hours of sleep, probably more like 7 to 8, you're deficient. If you didn't have 5 hours of uninterrupted sleep, then your body is being challenged in one way or another. Could be your liver, it could be your kidneys, your digestion, your insulin levels. Might just be stress waking you up. But the body is definitely telling you that it's not able to heal if you're waking up within 5 hours going to bed. One thing you've done recently to support your health. Like, are you doing self-care? Are you taking care of certain things? Are you trying to make a habit of walking, of meditating, of drinking enough water? What are you doing for your health? Is there something you've done lately? And when was your last adjustment? If it was more than 2 weeks ago, there's a really good chance that your immune system and your nervous system are a little bit depressed. Because most people in today's society are being challenged so often that if I don't get it reset in 2 weeks, there's a good chance it's not working at its highest level. Okay. So it's not about judgment with any of this stuff. It's just gently a check-in to see where you are and where you might want to focus. But just ask yourself, what do I need to do to be healthier and support the system that can fight off the flu and the colds in this season? There's some of your actions you can take, right? Doing some of these things. Those are a good one. Well, bye everyone on Zoom. Thanks for coming. All right. Good to see you all. Bye-bye.